Well, it's obviously a very difficult day for the nation. This morning, parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers in Tumbler Ridge will wake up without someone they love. The nation mourns with you. Canada stands by you. I want to thank and pass on a number of world leaders who've reached out directly to me in solidarity and compassion. France, United Kingdom, His Majesty himself, Norway, Finland, India, United Arab Emirates, many others. The world is with you. I have spoken to Premier Eby. Minister of Public Safety has been engaged, as have many Canadian officials over the evening. Minister of Public Safety is en route to British Columbia. He and the Premier will be visiting the community. All assistance, obviously, will be offered. We thank the first responders, the teachers, the staff, the residents, for everything that they've done in this terrible situation. On the advice of the Clerk of the Privy Council and Heritage Canada, I've asked that the flags in the Peace Tower here and across all government buildings be flown at half-mast for the next 7 days. We will get through this, we will learn from this, but right now it's a time to come together, as Canadians always do, in these situations, these terrible situations, to support each other, to mourn together, and to grow together.
Now, I don't care what you think about Mark Carney as a politician or a person, but it's impossible not to feel the emotion of the man talking about the victims of the tragic shooting in BC. What took place has shaken a lot of Canadians as he choked back tears and talked about all flags at all federal buildings being dropped to half-mast for the next 7 days. A lot of us felt the same emotion, joined by Bradie and Mike. And gentlemen, this is every parent's worst nightmare, which happened in Tumbler Ridge. I remember the first time one of our daughters, when she was in high school, they had a lockdown, and the absolute terror and panic of my partner and I, and there was nothing like this. There's no words to describe what the families in that community are going through right now.
I tried to find a bigger word than tragedy to cover this, but as a parent, and having had high school students, and to see how volatile and how important that time in a young person's life is, this really hit home to a point where even putting to words what you feel about this is going to be tough for all Canadians. And then you focus in just a little bit on that little town and think about the impact that it's going to have forevermore.
Bradie, and the one thing that's gone viral is one of the mothers posted a photo of this sweet 12-year-old girl who's fighting for her life in a hospital. And it was bad enough to think about the victims, the tragedy, see the Prime Minister in tears, and you see that photo going viral. You're like, I can't believe that happened. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't have children, but at this point, at the age that I'm at, I've seen numerous friends and people live with fear like this is a thing that could happen. We don't see it very often in Canada, anywhere in Canada. And I don't know if it's just that we're so much in a pressure cooker right now, or people are just extremely frustrated, but I hope this is not a thing that's going to become a regular thing here in Canada. Do we get to the point now where we're becoming, the same problems that they're having in the United States? Is this a gun buyback program issue? Is this a gun issue, or is this just frustration? This is the worst thing I've heard in a very long time.
Oh, very difficult to even sort through those things. Like, is this where did the crack in the system occur here? But in the coming days, I'm sure that's what we're going to hear a lot about. And for the moment, to hear the Prime Minister stand with the nation, I have to admit with you, very classy maneuver, very human response to it, much like all of ours. I read the story last night. It was interesting because it came up. And I looked at it like I was reading something that had occurred in the U.S. And my first response was, "Oh no, what? What? Oh no!" And the real tragedy of that was twofold to me: one, that it had occurred at all, and then two, that this kind of thing that we've become sadly accustomed to seeing in the U.S. and primarily from our news in the U.S. and other parts of the world. Here it is, right here in Canada, in a beautiful small town with a very small, tight-knit community of people who will know the killer, who will know the victims, who will know the first responders, who will know this will be an indelible mark on the souls of the people of that town the rest of their lives.
The township is never going to recover.
I don't know how this is, I couldn't agree more. I know it's been talked about in Milano Cortina, the Olympics, Team Canada, the Olympians, it's been a thunderclap. They can't believe what happened because of the time change. They got the news.
Right.
And a lot of the hockey players, all the different athletes are trying to have some sort of commemoration for the victims and the injured in the town in BC, because a lot of the athletes are from British Columbia, maybe have roots near the area. And so this is hitting a lot of people hard. And especially where, even if you have kids or don't have kids, any human being can see that. And you just alluded to first responders. They are humans. We forget the paramedics and fire and police. They're the first ones to go in there and see the aftermath of that, and they don't always recover.
No, you pointed out that there was a family tragedy that occurred here in a drunk driving incident, the Muzo case, and the family that was so tragically torn apart by that. The first responders, some of them to that event, never returned.
No.
I should point out that we sat down to do this podcast today and had another show planned, but the reason that we're doing it, I think, is maybe to share our feelings, yes, but really to talk it through as a group. This is so fresh and so new and so deeply sad and horrifying.
May I say something, gentlemen?
We're just kind of ruffling through it.
That there are some people maybe watching this, read it, or trying to digest in their social media. If you're overwhelmed, call your local mental health association. They have 1-800 numbers 24 hours a day. Talk to somebody. This is hitting a lot of people in the guts and hard, and there's help out there. You're not alone. If you want to send comments to us, we'll respond to them.
Okay, I have no sympathy for the shooter. None of the information has been put out yet. I have 24 hours afterwards here as we record this. I have only sympathy for the families and the victims. But if you get to the point where you're that angry or that fed up, do yourself and everybody else a favor by either talking to a mental health professional or go deal with this on your own. Do not involve other people. Like, what is going on?
Well, I think that what we're seeing is, a fracture in a couple of things. Mental health awareness comes to mind.
We have a huge mental health issue here in Canada.
And it's not getting any smaller.
And you can hashtag Bell Talks all you want, but we're not actually confronting it. We used to throw pills at it before, and we realized that was a problem, right? That causes probably more problems than it's fixing. But we need to address this.
It's, then again,
as a country,
to understand what happened, I think still remains, Jim, the details, I think, are how many in hospitals currently?
At least 25, maybe 27, some of them seriously. Here's one thing I'd like to say. I know everyone wants to get on social media and get their likes and their clicks and be an influencer.
It's gross.
There are some times you have to let the professionals do their job. And there are some times where the RCMP and the police, they have a legal duty to inform next of kin before they start announcing names. And they have an investigation and they let you know what's happening. We don't know shit.
No.
We don't know anything.
A lot of the time, too, some of this information is like when they say we have to contact the next of kin. Well, we talked previously before recording this that they found 2 bodies at a residence. That's probably the next.
To this.
That might be the next of kin.
But there might be someone involved that they have to reach out to.
So now there we go. Our speculation begins. And what the problem is with that, and I think, Jim, you raised a really good point. think it's okay for us to have a tragic moment together.
Yeah.
Without us peeling it apart with the professionals in place. I do think that's really important. And that you guys would say, okay, this could impact how you feel. I read that story and my eyes filled with tears instantly. And, you know, we follow the news all day long. It takes a lot for that to happen.
This is anybody who's in a world where you're seeing news 24/7, whether it's positive or negative, it's overwhelming.
It can be. Yeah. And that's why they call it doom scrolling, right?
Right.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. And so don't try to resist the temptation to doom scroll maybe and spend that time with a quiet prayer or meditation for that community. And let's wait to hear what's needed next. If what's needed next is a GoFundMe, if what's needed next is support from other places, if what's needed next is for us to just mourn as a nation, let's find out what that is. Let's determine that, please, this time, without polarity, with class and dignity. Let's help this community.
Virtued patience too, right? Like patience is virtue. That's an old,
Absolutely.
That's an old one of the golden rules.
It's
right?
still there. It still applies today. And Bradie, like, you know, Canadians, we have our faults. Well, it's one thing. We gather together as community, whether it's a natural disaster or a tragedy or whatever. People from coast to coast will reach out and say, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
And they will.
I have to admit, I don't think that I've ever seen one of our leaders in tears. And there was Mark Carney this morning. Really,
Shaken.
Shook.
Like it was one of his own.
Yeah.
That I was like, wow, that blew me away.
So that is, I think, the correct. I mean, everybody's going to have their own response, and there's no valid or non-valid response to this emotionally. I would ensure you of that. But I could relate to that dad this morning.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes.
And when I saw the clip, my first reaction was, oof, yeah.
This one's tough.
Yeah.
And I hope the group down south doesn't use this as a talking point too.
Well, let's just tune them out maybe for a week or so.
Might be
I think it's
idea.
just fine for us to be.
We can forget about what they have to say for a few days here and just worry about Canada for a change.
That's exactly it.
That's a very good.
We have an opportunity to be a family as a nation for the moment and take care of ourselves, take care of our own.
Yeah.
And maybe if we had more of that spirit, less of this kind of tragedy will occur in the future. I think that's something we could take away from this too. And I'm a pretty, I'm a pretty crunchy old guy about, the feelings, but this is just too much for us to take on in any other way except together.
Tumbler Ridge is a small community, rural northeastern BC, but they'll be surprised to know there's 40 million plus Canadians that have their back.
Yeah, we're in
they have their back.
My thoughts, I know yours,
wow,
are deeply ensconced in the emotion of tragedy and sorrow over this. And to that community,
yes,
we as a community here are here for you. We would be happy to help in any way that we can, but just know, beyond condolences, the tragedy is in our hearts with you.